when is the best time for me to come back and all that. But I'm doing everything I can to be, back out there as soon as possible.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are talking about the Lions' current quarterback, Matthew Stafford. So let's get into it.
I just tell them you be easy, you're the pain. Everybody had me a blush to the brain.
I've been watching the Lions, been a Lions fan forever, and I really like every single player that ever goes to the Lions, right? I root for every single player, no matter where they were before. As soon as they're on the Lions, I root for that guy. I've had a lot of favorite players over the years, Darius Slay, big play Slay. Love Darius Slay. You have guys, like Calvin Johnson, who are obviously a legend, maybe the best wide receiver of all time. I'll always make that argument. And then there's a guy named Matthew Stafford, who has been my favorite player since I can remember. Now, here's the thing. With Matthew Stafford, I really didn't see another quarterback just because of my age. I mean, I knew there was other guys there. I'd probably seen him. I couldn't really tell the difference. But we've seen Stafford for over a decade. He hasn't missed a game up until this season, like 7 years. We didn't miss out on Stafford. Stafford's always my dude. Even in the season that he wasn't great, he's always been my favorite player. Always rooted for him. Always backed him up, even though he doesn't have the playoff win. But at this point, now it's coming to that time in his career where Matthew Stafford, going in the next season, will turn 32 years old. 32 years old, and he still doesn't have a playoff win. Now, you guys may be thinking for a second here, wait, are you talking about Stafford ain't that guy? No, I'm definitely not saying that. I'm saying Stafford is more than that guy, and that's why it's not really fair that he has to be with the Detroit Lions. Look, the Lions are not a good team. Best season that he had with the Lions will be going back to 2014. We had the second-ranked defense. He's never really had a running game. Consistently, he doesn't have a good defense, and now he's about to turn 32 years old going next season. He'll be 32 years old. He didn't have to deal with injuries. He's been through injuries. He's just played through them all. Like I said, he was like an Iron Man type of player until this season. Now, all of a sudden, his back is starting to hurt. It's no coincidence his back is hurting. He has been carrying this team for so long. I'm not surprised, but seriously, his back injuries are coming into play. And with him about to turn 32 years old, I know quarterbacks are those guys that are like, hey, those guys can last for a while. They can get better as they age. But once you're getting injuries, you just never know. And I think at this point, especially with the Lions, his chance to go get a Super Bowl is about this slim, okay? And I hate to say it, I really do. I want Matthew Stafford to stay here forever. I would never want him to go anywhere. That's what I'm saying. He's more than our guy. He's been our best player for years. He has carried this team a lot. No matter what you think about him, you have to understand that this dude is great. And I think this season is really showing how great he is, because I know everybody's talking about, well, we'd have like 6-7 wins if Stafford was playing. We haven't won a game without Matthew Stafford, guys. We have not won a game this season without Matthew Stafford. Just a lot of games this season. We haven't won a single one without him, okay? We've been on this huge losing streak. Matthew Stafford is great. And this season, before the injury, this dude was, MVP. He was legit. He was putting up numbers that were just ridiculous. 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He had nearly 2,500 passing yards, 2,498 or something like that. This dude was putting up unreal numbers, on pace for basically 5,000 passing yards, 38 touchdowns, and 10 picks. He's thrown for 41 touchdowns in a year. He already has a 5,000 passing yard season. He had another season that was 4,900 passing yards. This season, he could have done it again. And now we are starting to realize, and the Lions are not in a good position, and they don't look like they're that close to beating a team. Now, things switch around very quickly, and like I said, I don't want to see Matthew Stafford go anywhere, but seriously, he has a 106 passer rating, and look at our record. Look at our record without him. We can't win a game without him. And right now, for his case, for his sake, if Stafford wanted to go win a Super Bowl, it would probably be in his best interest to ask for a trade this offseason. I don't think he'll do it because I think he loves Detroit. He doesn't have a very good chance of winning a Super Bowl here, but yet he's that talented to go win a Super Bowl. I'm telling you what, this guy, Matthew Stafford, on other teams would have a Super Bowl ring. Okay, you put this guy with that great Panthers defense, he has a Super Bowl ring. You put him on tons of teams, this guy wins a Super Bowl. You put him on the 49ers now, oh my goodness, that team would be a problem. Just think about some of the situations where teams are really good and they just have an okay quarterback. What if he followed Tom Brady as their next quarterback? Can you imagine how good the Patriots would be? 2 decades of just winning every single year? But yet with the Lions, he's not getting that because he has just never had a good team around him at all. He came into an 0-16 team. It's not like he was Aaron Rodgers, where he sat on the bench, got to watch Brett Favre win playoff games, and then he stepped into the role. No, he came into an 0-16 team, had to turn it around as a rookie. He was thrown right into the fire. This dude has been through it all, putting up ridiculous numbers. The numbers don't lie. They don't, because it's not like there's 1 year, where he's up and then down. He is just consistently killing it. I saw a stat yesterday that now Carson Wentz has a record for most seasons with over 3,000 passing yards. 3,000 passing yards? I can't think of the last time Stafford didn't have 3,000 passing yards. Oh my goodness. The numbers he's putting up is ridiculous compared to some quarterbacks. And right now, His window is really closing, and I hate to say it, but man, I really want to see this guy win a ring. Would love to see with the Lions, obviously. I don't want to see him go anywhere else. But that's me. But me being, a little bit selfish, saying, no, Stafford, don't leave. Just stay here, struggle with us. But I don't also want to see that because it looks, you've seen this before. You see some great players, they're in terrible situations. They never get out of it. They're loyal to their team. They're very loyal, even if the team doesn't treat them right. And yet, they never get that credit they deserve because they never had that great moment. You know what I mean? That's why in the NBA, you see all these older players that were really good in their time. They never had a ring, so they try to go to a really good team and just sit on the bench and get that championship. Football is different. Matthew Stafford's a quarterback. That won't happen. He has to go somewhere and take over. And right now, he's playing at an absolute amazing level. And look, I hope the Lions can turn around next season. I hope they can. But if for Stafford's sake, if he really wants to go get a Super Bowl ring, I wouldn't hate him for saying, you know what, I want to go win a Super Bowl ring. I'm asking for a trade. I'm telling you, there's so many teams out there right now that would give up picks on top of picks for Stafford, and they could win a Super Bowl with him instantly. I mean, some teams that come right to mind are the 49ers. There is no doubt in my mind 49ers win a Super Bowl if you put him on that team. No doubt in my mind. There's so many teams that would love to have Matthew Stafford. We've seen before. It just doesn't look like he's going to win a Super Bowl here, and I don't want to see his career wasted like we saw Barry Sanders. Like, I didn't really see it. Like Kelvin Johnson, okay? These are absolute studs, and they never could get anything. I mean, Barry Sanders got one playoff win. Okay, Calvin Johnson didn't get a single playoff win. He's just one of those guys that has carried this team for over a decade. His back's starting to hurt. He's about to be 32 years old, and look at where he is, man. It's not his fault he doesn't have playoff wins. We have never been a good team. We've never put a good team around this man. Not consistently. We haven't had an all-around team. And I'm not saying it has to be perfect, but we are, oh my goodness, we are a mess in Detroit right now, okay? I mean, he should have beat the Cowboys. I think we should have won that playoff game. But other than that year, I mean, you look at other than that year, our defense, we've never had a good defense other really than that year, okay? We've just been pretty much mediocre to bad every single year. You look at our running game. Oh my goodness, the last time we've had a good running game, Stafford was a kid. No, but seriously, Barry Sanders was our running back. I mean, it's been a drought and all those things. And for Matthew Stafford, knowing that right now we have the 29th ranked defense, we are going to have a top 5 pick most likely. I mean, we could potentially have the 2nd pick in the draft. Keep that in mind. We could have the 2nd pick in the draft, and Matthew Stafford is about to be 32 years old after this season. Do you understand where this is going? I would love to see a turnaround next season. I really do hope, no matter who's the coaches, no matter who's in charge, this team turns it around so that we can at least give Stafford a playoff win if he's here, man. He deserves it 110%. It's only right for him, and I would have no problem with him saying, look, I want to go win something. I appreciate you, Detroit, but I need to go win something. And I'd be like, you know what? I'm still a Lions fan, but I'm buying your jersey with that other team. And that's just me personally. I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts out here. I know it's a little bit of a different video, a little bit slower, but man, oh man, I feel terrible. I honestly feel bad for Matthew Stafford at this point. I know there's people that are going to be like, oh, Stafford's not that good anyways. I'm not even going to respond to your comment because that's just crazy to me. People bring up playoff wins and stuff like that. Again, I can't respond to that because I can't help you with that point. The reason he doesn't have playoff wins is very simple. We understand why he doesn't have playoff wins and why he doesn't have the success. The same reason that Barry Sanders didn't have it. The same reason that Kelvin Johnson didn't have it. These are all-time great players. They never had it for that reason because he didn't have a team around him. At this point, I feel bad for Stafford. I hope he stays. I don't want him to go anywhere. I don't think he will. He loves Detroit. He wants to win in Detroit. But I also do feel at the point, I'm like, Stafford, if you got to go, if you want to go win your ring, go win your ring, bro. You've been my favorite player for years. I will not stop rooting for you no matter where you go. So we'll see what happens. I want to give my thoughts on that. Just give my take. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. I don't want to see it happen. Keep in mind, I really don't want to see this happen. That's exactly why I'm bringing it up, because I don't want to see it happen. But I also know how great Stafford is, and I would feel terrible if he retires without even a playoff win. I mean, you know how bad I'd be like, really, man? Lions, we're going to do this again? Kelvin going to get a playoff win. Now Stafford can't have a playoff win? I mean, we've seen bad quarterbacks, Trent Dilfer, win a Super Bowl. Now you're seeing a guy like Matthew Stafford who can't get a playoff win because his team is just not there. This is tough for me. We'll hop on another video next. I'll see you guys in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.